Good morning, SEA families. I hope you had a great Mother's Day weekend. And here we are. We are online. Certainly wish you could be here, but we got this. We can get through this. I wanted to give just a couple of reminders this morning about some online routines that we need to make sure that we are following. So students, just a reminder, follow the bell schedule that you normally would as if you were here in school. And so if you had a class normally starting at a certain time, according to the bell schedule, make sure that you log into your Google Meet at that time. Want to make sure you're there on time, as teachers are taking attendance at the start of every class. So make sure you're there so you don't accidentally, make sure you're there on time so you don't accidentally get marked absent. Parents, we understand that there will certainly be some absences during this time due to appointments and different things like that. So if your son or daughter is going to be absent, just make sure that you let our office know so we can update our records and we're able to keep track of where everyone is at. Finally, final piece for me this morning before I turn it over to Pastor Jordy. I know this is a very difficult time for many people, and many families are going through a lot of difficulties with this online learning and just some of the restrictions. And so we are here to help, like we talked about last week. Please reach out to any one of our staff members, and we would love to help walk you through things as best as what we can. I also want to mention that our school counselor, Nadine Lennox, has done some extensive work collecting resources and some information sessions that are coming up that are designed to help families navigate some of these times. And so I encourage every family, go to our SEA Secondary website. The resources that Mrs. Lennox has found are on the counseling page, and there's also a link on this email for you to find that information. So check it out. There's lots of great things in there. That's it for me this morning. Now over to Pastor Jordy.
Thanks, Mr. E. Good day, SCA family. I hope you're having a good day so far. So you're at home. How's it going? Some of you have been home already over 2 weeks. Some of you just a week. Either way, you and some of the staff are home for a few more weeks. Not sure. So I ask again, how's it going? For many of you, it's going to be going okay. Not the dream, I know, but okay nonetheless, and that's good. For some of you, it's going to be rough. I know. So what do we do? Well, I actually want to talk about that for a second. I actually think, so what do we do is the wrong question. I think we need to ask, where do we go? Where do we go? We're doing lots, but where do we go instead? So last week was Mental Health Awareness Week, and I said it's a real thing and affects people's lives in all sorts of ways. I said even in times of extreme anxiety and stress, mental health is something we can protect, not just something we can lose. Well, what I didn't say a lot about is, how do we protect our mental health? I think that topic needs to be considered as we settle into online life again. I talked to many of you, and when I ask how's it going, with COVID and the online thing, most of you say, not bad, but I miss my friends. For some of you, if we make time to get into it, you will eventually say the words kind of lonely, disconnected, isolated. Well, we were created to be connected, so of course isolation is going to be rough. That was never the original intention. The blind poet John Milton said loneliness is the first thing which God's eye named not good. First thing was loneliness, not good. When God surveyed his creation at the dawn of human history, he declared it is not good for man to be alone. That's Genesis chapter 2. He knew that his crowning creation would desire companionship. And with the creation of Eve, God met that need. However, when the first humans sinned, a wedge was driven for the first time between them and God. And thus sin, conflict, selfishness, and loneliness entered the world. Loneliness actually is rarely discussed in the Bible, but it's seen repeatedly. David once complained that he was lonely and afflicted, Psalm 25. Jesus, who knows all our infirmities, surely was lonely in the Garden of Gethsemane. John ended his life alone on the Isle of Patmos. So when we're lonely, what do? Well, we might get busy. We might get distracted. We might get doing bad stuff. Or we might try and connect with people, of course, probably our friends. So we text and scroll and surf and FaceTime and whatever else, and that's good. But I hope, if we're honest, even connecting with our best friends still leaves us wanting sometimes, doesn't it? I mean, there's a hole there. Here's my big idea for today. To navigate this life on earth well, we can't just keep doing. We have to start going. Well, where? Well, of course I'm going to say, but I mean it, to the Almighty God, to the Almighty God. You see, there's distractions. My phone's ringing right now. That's what happens. The entire Bible focuses on our need for communion with people and God, to be able to love, to help, to encourage, to forgive, and care for one another. Connecting with God, like reading the Bible, quiet meditation and prayer, or listening to a worship song. What about just resting in His presence, knowing He is with you right there? You aren't alone. God is with you, and He will comfort you and guide you into what is true. And in that, there is freedom and peace. I want to close today reminding you of a couple of things about God. Number one, He's sovereign. That means God reigns. In the Bible, in Daniel chapter 4, it says this: "At the end of that time, I, Nebuchadnezzar, raised my eyes toward heaven, and my sanity was restored. Then I praised the Most High. I honored and glorified Him who lives forever. His dominion is an eternal dominion. His kingdom endures from generation to generation." The second thing I want to remind you about God is that He's good. God is love, and He loves you. Psalm 136 says this: "Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love endures forever." SCA family, I hope that blesses you today. Can I remind you to not hesitate, especially in this online life, to reach out to me, Mrs. Tuckwood, or Mrs. Lennox, or another staff member that you feel comfortable with. Just start the email and we'll figure it out from there. God bless you. I hope you have a great week. Peace.